First item on the agenda is roll call. So what I'm going to have us do, folks, Denise, if you don't mind, just initiating the roll call and then calling on individuals so that they can introduce themselves going around. That would be great.
Okay, well, first of all, I have to remind members of the board and the commission that they must make a public announcement that there are physical members' location at the time of the meeting by stating the country, city, township, or village and state where they are located.
All right.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Zach.
All right, so I am Zach Damon. I'm located here in the great city of Ann Arbor, Michigan. I am joining you through Zoom. I'm in Washenaw County, and I'm the chairman of the commission.
Thank you. Commissioner Alex Gossage.
Good afternoon. I'm Alex Gessage. I'm one of the commissioners. I am coming to this meeting today on Zoom through my house here in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in Washtenaw County.
Commissioner Morak.
Good afternoon. I'm Commissioner Kathleen Morak. I'm coming to you via Zoom from my apartment in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Thank you. Commissioner Button.
Hey everybody, my name is Kinsey Button. I'm coming to you from my house in Ann Arbor in Washtenaw County. Happy to be here.
Thank you. Commissioner Keeler.
Well, I'm at my house too, Ann Arbor, Michigan, West Side. Yeah, and I'm commissioner.
Thank you. Commissioner Solomon.
Matthew Solomon, Commissioner, Ann Arbor, Michigan, USA.
Commissioner Hall.
Tim Hall, Commissioner in Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Okay, thank you. We have a quorum.
Hi.
All right.
I'm sorry, Councilmember Nelson.
We need to introduce our
Councilmember Nelson. Sorry, Councilmember Nelson.
Hi, I'm Elizabeth Nelson, the City Council Liaison. I'm calling in from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, folks. I do appreciate it. So next on the agenda, we have the approval of today's agenda. Now that has been sent out electronically to all the attendees of today's meeting. For the commissioners that are on, I would like to give you just a few seconds to review that. If you guys do have any errors or discrepancies in today's agenda, now is the time to speak up for that. I'm going to give a few minutes for you guys to review. And then if there are no corrections or amendments or anything like that, then we're going to vote on today's agenda that we can move forward. So I'll just give a few minutes for that. And also, if there was anyone in attendance today that did not get today's agenda, please let us know and we can send that out for you.
I didn't get it for some reason.
Oh, my goodness. Well, there we go.
I'll send you one now.
Thank you, Denise.
Well, thank you. Either didn't get it or I didn't get it, save it right. I can't remember which, but I hadn't seen it.
It's okay.
Zach, as you'll recall, we also didn't approve the previous month's minutes. That was never done.
That's correct. We're going to be doing the meeting minutes right after the approval of today's agenda. So we'll be doing last month's as well as the month prior. Thank you, Matthew.
I don't know if the message got through. I emailed Zach. I don't know. I really want to apologize for having to leave the last meeting early. My son did not properly plan his transportation. And so in my household, we were literally like, what? You have to be at Northville in 45 minutes. And so I had to we were like, who was going to abandon ship to get him there? And it ended up being me. So I apologize. I don't like to miss meetings.
No problem.
I have seen that.
No problem.
Been there, done that.
No, I let everybody know, Councilmember Nelson.
Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, I couldn't remember. It was such a panic in my house when that was happening.
No
Okay.
problem.
Don't you just love it?
No problem. Thank you for letting us know. All right, folks. Well, at this time, I would like to, is there a motion to approve today's agenda? Okay, well, I would like to make a motion to approve. Oh, Kathleen, I'm sorry, you were raising your hand. I did not see you. All right, so Kathleen makes a motion to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, thank you, Alex. So all in favor of approving today's agenda, please raise your hand and say aye.
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 Great. So today's agenda is approved. Thank you guys for doing that. So next, I would like to move on to approval of the meeting minutes. And so, as Commissioner Solomon stated, we didn't get an opportunity to approve the meeting minutes from February. Those were sent out to us electronically. So I would like to just take an opportunity to review both the meeting minutes February as well as the meeting minutes for our March meeting. Those were also sent out as well. So during this time, if there are any questions or corrections to both the meeting minutes for February and for March, you can mention it during this particular time. I'll give a few minutes for review of both, and then we can go ahead and hopefully approve both of those. By the way, I just want to mention if there were any commissioners that did not receive either of the minutes for February or March, please let us know at this time and we can get you those materials. Okay, I'm hoping people have had a couple of minutes to review both the meeting minutes for both February and March. Again, if there are any comments or questions or corrections, now is the time to bring them up. But is there a motion to approve the meeting minutes for both February and March?
So moved.
Okay, so Kathleen also. So Matthew, you make a motion. Kathleen, is that a second? Okay, great. So all in favor of approving the meeting minutes for February and March, please unmute and say aye.
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 Wonderful. Thank you. So the meeting minutes are approved. Next, we have a public comment. I wasn't sure if there was anyone on today from the community that just wanted to come in and address anything or make a public comment. I'd like to just give a minute or two just to make sure. And I will ask Denise. Denise, do we have any public comment for today?
I have a call-in listener, but they haven't turned on to become a speaker. So maybe just
Okay.
listen to our meeting today.
All right, just listening. Well, thank you to the Ann Arborite and community member that is listening today. We do appreciate you and your support of the commission. All right. Moving forward, we have our fun part of the agenda today. We have special presentations. So folks, I would like to extend a huge, warm commission welcome to Police Chief Michael Cox.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. And by the way, it's very good to meet you all. I don't think I've had an opportunity to come before you before, and I've been here about 21 months now. And so, I want to say greetings. I wish there weren't a pandemic going on so we can meet in person, but, I will take this after being isolated for so long. So I am the police chief in Ann Arbor Police Department, and we are in the process of trying to convert over to a community policing format. And in that format, it's to make it as simple as possible. we're putting citizens at the center of everything that we do. By getting feedback, partnering with people in the community on how we can solve problems within Ann Arbor, and more importantly, how we can relieve fears or address issues that the citizens might have. And so, a good example of that, I guess, would be I guess this month is Autism Awareness Month, I believe. And I know we have, certainly partnered with Xavier DeGroat, who recently reached out to our department to go to the State House and basically help talk about the program in which people with autism who have state IDs or licenses or registrations can sign up to have their information in a database. So if they happen to be pulled over by police, or if they happen to be stopped and someone runs their license or ID in general, that information regarding that they have autism, they suffer from autism, will be readily available for police, so we can absolutely have a much better communications with them in some way, shape, or form. And I think that's really important, certainly in the autism community. And so part of what we do in Ann Arbor is we try to train our officers into issues of not only the day, but issues of the community around how can we serve you better? How can we have better communications in general? And so we do a lot of training for the police officers. We talked a little bit about autism awareness. We do, some things certainly around mental health issues, drug and alcohol issues. And, we need to hear from all parts of the Ann Arbor community in ways in which we can get better, or how we can be educated on how we can have better communications with the public, or just in general about issues that are out there. So I'm happy to be before you today. It's a very, very short Reader's Digest version of what we're doing, but more importantly, I wanted to take your questions directly around our police department, what we can do better, or more importantly, how we impact certainly people in the disabled community within Ann Arbor.
Well, Chief Cox, I just wanted to make a quick comment and say thank you to all of you at the police department, the men and women in uniform who are doing the best that they can to make sure that our city is safe. And when I first came on as a commissioner in 2015, we did an amazing project. We actually created disability resource cards for the department, and they were dispersed to different officers so that if you encountered, I don't know if some of you on the commission were with us during that period as well, and it had different resources around Ann Arbor, such as the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living, the University of Michigan Council for Disability Concerns, our commission, and different information on that particular card, so that if officers on duty and of course in the field encountered someone who could use those resources, the officers on duty would then hand that out to those individuals. We experienced some great feedback from the department, and I'd be interested if you guys would be interested in the commission helping you guys with that again.
We would love that, as a matter of fact. Absolutely. Any assistance we can get is certainly helpful and appreciative. So that sounds like it was a great idea then. It would be even a better idea today. So yes, absolutely. If we could partner in that.
I still have a few of them, and they actually even had Braille on them, Zach, too.
They sure did. Yep, we used a special.
Yeah, I have a few of them still. And you can probably get more of them made.
Yes, I still have the printing contact on the shop where we did print them, Larry, with that special Braille text. Exactly. So we'll have to figure out, I guess, as a commission, we can talk about that and put that on our agenda. We did get a sponsor to print those for you guys when we did it in 2015. So we can talk about a sponsor that can help us with the cost of that and get those to you guys this year as well.
No, that we would be very appreciative of that. I mean, that's ideal.
Wonderful.
There was also introduction to a service dog or something on that around that time. There was introduction to service dogs and that kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yes,
that we did.
There was. Yeah. And then if anybody has any questions, I encourage you to use the raise hand button if you don't mind. And then Denise, if you don't mind calling on individuals so that us eager individuals that have questions for Chief Cox, we're not talking over each other, that would be great.
Sure, no problem. Okay, any questions? Oh, I see. Commissioner Mozak, rather. I can't hear you.
It won't let me, oh, there
There
we
we
go.
go.
Okay.
Unmute, it said my hand was raised and I couldn't unmute. I have a question because in my life, I do have a service dog and I also use a wheelchair to ambulate. And I've often wondered, God forbid, knock on wood, if there were to be an accident, if there were to be an emergency where an ambulance would need to be called or the police needed to be involved, what sort of services do you have to help that individual not lose their, their chair? How do you accommodate their chair? How do you accommodate their service dog? Has that ever come up before?
Well, that's an excellent question. So I can't think of a time that, how do we accommodate this service dog? But, that is, I think that we would be able to handle it on the fly. I mean, you think about, in the middle of the night or, it's raining, people in car accidents, we accommodate people the best we can, even if we have to help, put it in the rear of our trunk or call for a tow truck to help, if it's an electric vehicle or whatever, to help tow it to your destination. We'll help in any way that we can, particularly, when it's on the fly like that in the middle of the night. But I don't think we have a set protocol, and you just brought up a very good point. We don't have a set protocol about what we would do in that particular case. So we would kind of, adapt. But I do know I have seen, electric wheelchairs towed by an actual tow truck that we'd have to make sure that it made it back safely, to the person's residence. You're very welcome.
Chief Cox, I'm curious. What would you say? There's so much going on now with law enforcement and let's just say how they're interacted with, in the public. What would you say are some of the biggest misconceptions out there in terms of, law enforcement and kind of what would you say is a big misconception of the force?
Well, there's so many that it's kind of hard to choose from, but I want to be careful because you have to be mindful of the fact that there's some really tragic and terrible things that have been going on. And so I don't want to confuse those tragic and terrible things and try to downplay the fact that it occurs. But the fact that the frequency of what you're talking about, it's very difficult. Yeah. A lot of people come onto this job to help people. It's an honorable profession. And when you come on and do it, you really do appreciate the opportunity to help people where they are. And, when you scan the entire United States and find the worst examples of anything, it can give the impression as though everyone is really bad. And I don't know of any profession out there that you couldn't scan the entire United States and come up with examples, horrific examples of, what they did or didn't do. And so that is probably the toughest one in general, because, when I talk about community policing, being part of the community, talking to the community, that's a human thing, right? This has been around since the beginning of time. You build relationships by talking to people, understanding their fears, getting to know each other, and they get to know you as well. And that's how you build bonds and create trust. And the dialogue that's going on today, some of it very, very legitimate. But because of the dialogue that goes on today, no one really wants to, really have a conversation with us or nor even appreciate, the work that, we do from time to time, because really we're a service industry. We're here to help for the most part. And so that's a little tough. I think it's tough for the men and women to do the job, but I understand where it comes from. Yeah, and when I say understand, I truly understand where it comes from. From people. People are frustrated about wanting to see something work and work well, and they don't understand why. And I wish that more people understood policing far better than they do. And so when it's time to want to fix some of the things that are wrong with our profession, that they understand that what it takes to fix any other profession or what it takes to fix any other problem would be the same in this industry as well. And that they should think about that. Whatever the best practices are in some other places would be probably best practices here. But for some reason, what I call common sense thinking is not going on anymore. It's more extreme, more what I call, give up thinking. You're so disappointed about the events that you've given up on a profession and people, and that's tough, But I understand where it comes from. So I don't know if I answered your question, but
You did. And then my final question would be, what are, the big goals that you and the department have for this coming year?
Yeah, so probably the biggest goal is that, we're trying to grow our neighborhood groups and community groups to hear from people and residents and actually get to know them. We're a bigger department here in Michigan, but we're not that big. And the goal is for everyone to know the 150 or so folks that work in Ann Arbor, so they can say, hey, that's my officer, or that's one of the members in the Ann Arbor Police Department. The more you get to know us, the more likely you're going to feel good about your police department, or we're going to understand exactly what it is that that the neighbors and people in the city need and want. And so our goal is to hopefully grow our community groups and hear from residents about how we can do better, how we can be better, and then try to live up to that, and help partner with them to solve problems. So that's hopefully the goal. But right now we have to get through COVID, and that seems to be a tough thing to shake right now. And but we would love to start to meet people in person and really do a better job of growing our community groups.
All right, Chief Cox. And then finally, for all of those that are, viewing the meeting or that will view this particular meeting, how can they get in touch to be a part of that community feedback that you spoke of?
Well, thank you. Well, one of the ways is you could absolutely, send it out. We have a website, not a website, an email at police at a2gov.org. And I have a phone number as well. And I should have anticipated that question coming. Susan, our community service officer, what is her number here?
I'd like to ask a question too, Zach, before I've been trying to raise my hand, but it won't work.
I see your hand, Commissioner.
Okay.
Keeler, I was going to
do you?
Yeah, I have you.
Okay.
All right. Well, then, no problem, Chief. If you can't find it now, then what I would recommend is, if you don't mind, just after this meeting, follow up with myself and Denise. And if you don't mind just sending that information, we would really appreciate it.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. I apologize for that. I should have had that number handy because she's our coordinator for it. I mean, calling her line directly would be the fastest and easiest way to learn about the neighborhood groups in your neighborhood, or actually how to actually you could actually host one yourself and we'll come to you. Now that we're on Zoom, there's no problem with that. So
wow, that's amazing. Wonderful. Mm-hmm. All right. And then we have one final question we'll have here for you, Chief.
Commissioner Keeler, yeah.
Yep.
I thank you guys for all you do, because I know you police people, Chief Cox, have a tough time of it these days. But my curiosity is the other end of it. Okay, not the emergency situation, but let's say you have a scenario like Kathleen's, but that scenario, the person has to go spend the evening in the county jail or be arrested for some reason. If he is that end, are you going to do that do you do that by the fly too? I mean, what would you do with a service dog in the wheelchair in that case? Would you do, how would that work?
Yeah, I would imagine a service dog, we would probably make some accommodations with either the person who owns the dog to see if someone can come and take hold of custody of the dog. Or we would probably reach out to the, animal control or someone to host or hold the dog until the owner was able to meet up again. That's what I would imagine. But more than
the
likely,
chair?
it's usually the family or the person who owns it would have a choice on, would have a lot of feedback on what we do. Our goal is to, when someone really gets arrested, that's the only purpose for that is so you can get to court and be arraigned, and then they can figure out, when your date is there. ThereI really no other purpose for that, right?
No,
and so-
sure, but I'm wondering what happens with the chair and stuff because I don't know if, I've had a lot of experience with different things, but I've never been to jail, so I don't know if they're accessible, if you have to, how that works if you have to be in there for a few days or something.
Yeah, so the sheriff's office would do that, but depends. It's about you getting arraigned, and so if it's over a weekend and for some reason if you are on an offense that you couldn't get bail for, that would probably be the issue. But it's nowadays it's becoming harder and harder for you'd have to do something pretty heinous to not be able to get bail, I would imagine now. And more importantly, we're responsible for your property, whether it's your car or your wheelchair. And so we will do everything possible to make sure it's secure and safe, no matter what. So, we would figure it out, and would probably ask for that person's input as well on what the best way or how they would like their property to be dealt with.
Wonderful. Well, thank you again, Chief Cox, for taking the time to be with us today. We definitely wish you and your department and all your officers the best. We hope that the officers in the field can stay safe and stay healthy. And please send us that information. And then down the line, if there is anything that you feel the Commission on Disability Issues can help you with, please don't hesitate to reach out.
I appreciate that. And just by giving us feedback on ways that you think that we can get better or issues on the horizon that you're hearing in general, if you think the police should know, let us know. Or trainings you think that we should have, that would be the biggest impactful thing for us. So, but thank you for your time, and it's very good to meet you all.
Wonderful. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right. So moving forward on our agenda today, we have Katie Monkiewicz of the Washenaw Library for the Blind and Physically Disabled. So welcome, Katie.
Hello, everyone. All right, just have an update that just happened right now. Some of you may have noticed that the downtown library was closed today. We did have a positive COVID case on staff, but we just found out that we're going to be able to open up tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, all AADL locations will be open for contactless pickup by appointment. You can use our high-speed internet at Mallett's Creek, Westgate, Traverwood, and Pittsfield outside of the buildings 24 hours a day, no login or library card required. If you miss browsing the shelves, we'll do it for you. Just tell us about what you're looking for, and we'll pull a selection of available titles in those formats and topics. Fill out the form at aadl.org/shelf service. We have printing services available. You can fill out the form to have something printed at aadl.org/printing. And you can submit something for posting on our branch bulletin boards at bulletinboards@aadl.org. You can book a Zoom meeting room for up to 2 hours and 300 attendees by emailing bookazoom@aadl.org. And if you have an essential task online or you need help filling out any of the online forms for library service, but you don't have a computer or a way to access the internet, we may be able to help. So just give us a call, 734-327-4200 between 12 and 8 p.m. to get started. We do have some virtual programming coming up on Thursday, April 29th from 6 to 7 p.m. we will be hosting a book discussion. You can join the AADL staff and other community members for a discussion of Playing in the Dark, Whiteness and the Literary Imagination by Toni Morrison. May is World Arthritis Month and Osteoporosis Month, and we have 2 events being presented by the United States Bone and Joint Initiative. On Wednesday, May 5th from 7 to 8 p.m., Experts in Arthritis. Join Erin Ebner of the U.S. Bone and Joint Initiative to learn about treatments, how to manage arthritis pain and fatigue, and improve nutrition and activity. And on Wednesday, May 19th from 7 to 8 p.m., Fit to a T. Are you fit to a T? Do you know your blood pressure, cholesterol level, weight, T-score? That's right, T-score. If you had to think twice about what a T-score is, chances are you're not alone. It's all about your bones. We'll be having Erin Ebner back to learn about osteoporosis and other bone diseases and how to have strong bones and live a healthy, independent, and productive life. As far as materials go, WLBPD patrons can order digital cartridges by calling 734-327-4224 and leaving a message, or by emailing WLBPD@aadl.org. It's always a great time to sign up for the Braille and Audio Reading Download Service, BARD. WLBPD patrons can sign up at nlsbard.loc.gov or call us and we can assist with the application. Some titles just recently added to BARD are Feline Philosophy, Cats and the Meaning of Life by John Gray. Philosopher John Gray discovers in cats a way of living that is unburdened by anxiety and self-consciousness, showing how they embody answers to the big questions of love and attachment, mortality, morality, and the self. My Year Abroad by Chang Ray Lee. Chinese-American entrepreneur Pong Liu sees something intriguing in bored college student Tiller and takes him under his wing. When Pong brings him along on a trip across Asia, Tiller is pulled into eye-opening experiences that transform his view of the world, of Pong, and of himself. And finally, The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna, Texas, 1921. Elsa Wolcott has few prospects before her as she's considered too old to marry. Then she meets Rafe Martinelli. 13 years later, everything on the Martinelli farm is dying, including their marriage. Elsa must decide to fight for the land of her heart or head to California. That's all for me today. Does anybody have any questions?
Well, I just want to wish you and your staff, all the safety in the world. I'm glad that you'll be opening back up tomorrow, but I wish you, Katie, and everyone at the library, on all locations, I wish them all safety.
Thanks a lot, Zach. We really appreciate that.
Any questions for Katie? They're always doing a lot of great stuff. And if you guys have never visited the downtown library for the blind and physically disabled, I really encourage it. It's a great facility. They have a lot of great things. And, I always enjoy just browsing around. Do you guys still actually offer that? I haven't been in a while, but, one of my favorite things, you used to put the free bookshelf out and people could actually, with the books that you were sort of discarding or getting rid of, people could also browse those as well. And I didn't know if you guys still offer that.
Yeah, that's actually a feature of the Friends of the Ann Arbor District Library. Any books that are donated to them that they can't really use or maybe have too many of that type, they put on the free bookshelf downtown, and it is actually a really cool place. It's not open right now, but once we reopen, that will definitely still be there. It's something that everyone in the community really enjoys.
Yeah, it is so cool. And I can't tell you how many great books I've gotten from there, from cookbooks to books about different, periods in history, all kinds of stuff.
Very cool.
All right. Any other questions for Katie? All right, guys. Well, thank you, as usual, Katie, for everything.
You're welcome. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye. All right. Moving forward, we have fellow Commissioner Alex Gossage, who is also the Executive Director of the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living.
Thanks, Zach. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to give a brief update on the CIL today, and I just also wanted to make another announcement on something I sent out earlier today. But first of all, the Ann Arbor CIL is still open virtually. Our physical facilities are not open to the public at this time, but if folks are interested in services, supports, resources, social activities, or anything else, they're welcome to give us a call at 734-971-0277. They can also take a look at a complete listing of the activities that we have going on at our website, which we've just redone the homepage a little bit to hopefully make accessing activities a bit easier. And our website is www.annarborcil.org. So again, I would definitely urge folks to reach out to us if they're in need of services, supports, questions, any of those kinds of things right now. But I also wanted to make sure I pointed out just real quickly today, I sent this email out to the commission earlier this morning, I believe. There is a COVID-19 vaccination clinic that's going to be happening this Friday, April 23rd from 1 to 2:30, and that's going to be taking place at 555 Towner Street in Ypsilanti. It is a drive-through COVID vaccination clinic. It is open to anybody who is over the age of 18 and lives or works in Washenaw County, but they are specifically targeting and trying to reach out to the disability community for this particular pop-up. If folks are interested in calling to make an appointment, they can call at 734-544-6700. I'll also give there's a bit.ly that they use for the web address, and I'll try to give that real quick. It is bit.ly/VAX4-23. And again, that is their online site for making appointments. So again, please urge folks, if they have not been able to get to a vaccination site, make an appointment or anything like that, that this could be an opportunity for them. And that's what I've got for today.
Alex.
Zach. Yeah.
Alex, an addendum to your appointment to that, they're also using that same number at the Convocation Center.
Mm-hmm.
I know that because I thought I was going to miss this meeting. I was at the second vaccination out there. And also A-Ride, if you're going to the Convocation Center, I don't know about Towner, you'll have to ask. But if you're going specifically to the Convocation Center to get your COVID vaccine, you get free A-Ride out there too. I think that's the only one place you can go for free A-Ride, but they do it, at least to the Convocation Center. I don't know about the Towner address yet, though.
Yeah, and that's right. I don't believe the Towner address, it will be free at this time. I was hoping that the CIL would have something up and going to provide some sort of reimbursement to folks who are not going to the Convocation Center. But the date for this was finalized so quickly that I don't think we're going to be able to turn anything around at the moment. So more to come there.
Is it still the Pfizer?
No, it's still the Moderna.
Oh, okay, because they're doing the Pfizer at the other one.
Yep.
At the EMU.
Kathleen, you have a question?
Darn it. Sorry about that. My mute's being terrible. So if people go to get the Moderna is a 2-shot vaccination. So then they would get an appointment for 3 weeks afterwards to follow up. Is that the process?
That's the process. They should be signing you up right when you're there. They were hoping to have done, a specific disability community pop up with the Johnson & Johnson vaccination, but obviously with the concerns that folks are having right now with the Johnson & Johnson, they're not using those at all. So they had to switch back to one of the 2-step vaccinations.
And Alex, just for those that are listening or tuning into the meeting, can they also access that through your website or no?
I believe it is on our Facebook at the moment. I do not know if it is on our website at this time, but we've been trying to spread it out as quickly as possible. Folks are welcome to give us a call though, if they have any questions.
Wonderful. And thank you for all the work you're doing with that, Alex. It serves a great need for our community. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions for Alex about the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living at this time? All right. Well, thank you, Alex. All right. So next, we have the report for the Community Engagement Committee and Ann Arbor Inclusive update with Rachel Hawkins. Welcome, Rachel.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Okay, perfect. So in terms of the updates that I have, the show that Ann Arbor Inclusive is having is actually coincidentally today. Actually, no, last Friday. Sorry, it said today in my email. Apologies. So it had been last Friday with New Oakland Face to Face, and that is also on YouTube. May's show they're still waiting to record, and it's going to be with Danny's Miracle Angel Network. And they're hoping to also do a future show with Washenaw Intermediate School District to talk about the visually impaired and blind children and difficulties learning on Zoom. So it sounds like there's a lot of good to come. Alex and I had a chance to talk recently, and I'm in the process of right now writing an email to him and Elizabeth, and we're going to figure out what we're going to do with the survey. So that's about it.
Great. And then really quickly, do you know, is Ann Arbor Inclusive, they're still doing remote production at this time, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, they're doing a wonderful job. I want to thank Tom Holtland, Linda Evans, and Melissa, Greg, everyone at CTN for doing a great job with Ann Arbor Inclusive. Thank you,
Thank
Rachel.
you. Thank you.
All right. So next we have the Partners in Access Committee update. Alex Gossage.
I think not a lot to report this month. Larry and I were able to meet the other week, and I know Zach, you're going to cover this in just a minute, but there was a concern that was shared by a community member regarding lack of access to accessible parking in downtown, especially as construction starts to increase here. So that'll probably be the big thing to cover at the moment, but we do continue to look at and figure out ways of connecting with folks in the community to better address some of the issues that we know come up regularly. And then as Rachel mentioned, she and I have met recently as well, and are looking at some different survey options that we could potentially share with the community to get their feedback. Because I think that's the most important thing to do right now. And it's one of the more challenging things to do at the moment with COVID. So that's what I've got.
Well, thank you, Alex. And I'm so grateful that the Partners in Access Committee, brought this up, because I was actually going to, in my chair report later, suggest that this was something that the PIA would also help with. So thank you guys for being on top of that. I appreciate it. All right. Next, we have recruiting activity, Mr. Larry Keeler.
Hello. Well, nothing's been going on there as of yet. Like I said, I haven't been out much and whatnot. I don't know if we have any other people yet. So that's where that is. But I also have another piece to Alex's thing. I saw, and I haven't did the research yet because I just gotten home recently, but I also saw an AATA bus pull into the convocation center. So you might, if you call AATA at 973-6500, you might be able to see if they're running a bus, an actual line bus through there, because I thought we saw one pull in.
They are running a vaccine shuttle route from the Blake Transit Center and the Ypsi Transit Center to the Convocation Center vaccine site. And it's
good.
On their website.
Okay, I didn't see it, but we saw it, and I thanks for the confirmation, Tim.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Larry, for all your work with that. I know that when we do get applications, you guys are always very good at reviewing them and things like that. So thank you for your work with that, and Elizabeth's as well in the past. You guys have done a great job. Great. Thank you. All right. Moving forward. All right. So now we have the Transportation Commission update from Commissioner Tim Hall.
Yeah, so the Transportation Commission actually met, there's been 2 meetings since the last meeting because they actually met yesterday. And we met like last month, we talked about the healthy streets a bit, and we got a presentation from the AAATA about their service restoration plan. And they just finished like the public comment for that. And I guess they will be, they took up feedback and will be presenting the final plan in June. And we just went over about the healthy streets plans for this upcoming year. And the meeting yesterday, we talked about the transportation plan, the big city transportation plan. They've been doing all these like public feedback sessions and stuff about for like the last year and a half. And so that they're getting ready. The Planning Commission and the Transportation Commission actually approved that last night in their joint meeting. And yeah, I guess, and we talked a little more about the Healthy Streets plan. So that's what's going on there. And yes.
Wonderful. Thank you, Tim. And I definitely, I'm excited to hear how that plan develops in terms of transit and different infrastructure and things. So thank you.
Okay.
All right. Next, we have the U of M Council for Disability Concerns update with Kathleen.
Hi, everyone. So today I don't have anything to report. Our meeting was just last Tuesday, and the meeting minutes have not been released yet. And so with that, I don't feel comfortable giving a report, especially since I was unable to attend. So I'll have that information for you next month.
Great. Yeah, no problem. And thank you very much for Kathleen, all the work that you do, though, with the Council for Disability Concerns. They do serve a great purpose, and we look forward to the next update. Thank you. All right. Let's see. Moving forward, we have the City Personnel Report with Denise.
Okay, hold on. All right, I have congratulations to Marty Pashan in the City of Ann Arbor's new Chief Financial Officer as appointed at the April 5th City Council meeting. Pashan previously served as the Public Service Area Chief of Staff and has more than 20 years experience with the city in various financial related positions. Also, Carrie Dennis has joined the City Safety Unit. Effective April 5th, she began working at the city in 2016 and was previous with the Ann Arbor Police Department. And welcome to Ala Acidity Engineer, City Engineering Specialist, Joel Barton, Ann Arbor Housing Commission Residential Voucher Program Manager, Peter Dietrich, Ann Arbor Housing Commission Occupancy, I can't say it, Specialist, Kevin Lessier, Engineering, Civil Engineering Specialist, Justin Riley, Public Works Technician, George Rothman, Public Work Technician, and Glenn Walker, Ann Arbor Commission Facilities Maintenance Technician. That's my report.
My goodness, quite busy there
in
the city with all the wonderful positions added. And thank you, Denise, for
welcome.
your work, as well as, all the incoming city staff. We know that they'll continue to do a great job and work as a great team to make our city building and also inclusive for all. So thank you.
Absolutely, you're welcome.
All right. So next we have the chair report. And so the biggest thing that I have for that, Alex did touch on this a little bit with partners in access, but of course we did get an inquiry again about some difficulty, finding street parking and handicap parking in different areas of the city. And so they did reach out to us, and I just wanted to make it clear that we did receive this, and I will also be following up, and of course, incorporating my correspondence with this, folks, with the Partners in Access Committee as well, so that both who inquired about this will understand that we are looking into this and trying to find the best avenues to get this taken care of. But of course, just with a lot of the construction and things, it's been difficult for others to find parking. And of course, it seems like, that's always something that is difficult, in the city, is just to find adequate, accessible parking. And so hopefully, going forward, we can be a great resource and can help this get addressed. But of course, I will be working with Alex and the Partners in Access Committee on this. And hopefully, once I reach out to like the city transit, as well as possibly the DDA on this, hopefully they can respond and we can have a response for that inquiry. But that's all I have at this point, you guys, for the chair report. So let's see, moving forward to old business.
Excuse me,
Sure.
Zach, Council Member Nelson has her hand up.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, go ahead, Councilwoman.
Thank you. Just because you mentioned it, I coincidentally in the last couple of weeks, I got a call from a constituent who was struggling to get a handicapped pass through the handicap permit through the DMV, and I've never actually done that. And so there was a moment of hesitation where I was like, does the city even do that? And I'm looking on the .gov site, and obviously we don't do that. And unfortunately, the DMV has got all sorts of delays in how you make an appointment. It's just a problem. But Zach, did you find the page? Like I said, I only know of it because I very recently Googled for it. There is apparently a process for arranging for street signage to designate accessible parking spots on the street. I don't know anything about it other than that it exists. Have you seen that, Zach?
I actually have never seen that. So
okay, I'll forward it to you. Like I said, I was sort of just Googling to see if there was any city connection to an access permit, and yeah, I'll send it to you. I know nothing of the process except that it is sort of like if you need street parking,
sure.
The city has this process. There's something about signage, so maybe Rachel knows.
Yeah, can you send it to me, and then Alex, I'll also send that to you as well, and hopefully we can both take a look at that and see if that's just an adequate resource that they can review right away. But of course, I also want to make sure that I can lead them in a direction where it can get taken care of, or they can find out some other avenues. But thank you for that resource, Elizabeth. I appreciate that.
Zach, Commissioner Hawkins has her hand up, and then Commissioner Morak, and then Commissioner Gossage.
I just wanted to add to Councilwoman Nelson's point as well, if it's a matter of getting a accessible parking permit, that on the bottom of the form there is an address that you can mail it to, and I would say the turnaround time was about maybe 2 weeks when I used it. So it's definitely easier than trying to get in for an appointment. So I would really encourage people, if they need a new accessible parking pass, to mail it into Lansing, and they will mail it back to you to your original address.
Oh wow! So you don't even need an appointment. You can literally mail. Oh yeah. My goodness. Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate that. That's very helpful.
Well, but to be clear for everyone, you have to mail in the current expired one first, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I did not mail in the current one. I think it's really only when you're getting the initial pass that you have to go in person. So if you
that might not help then.
Current one, you can mail in the updated form.
Okay.
Oh, this might have been a new situation.
Okay.
Rats.
Okay. Sorry.
No problem.
Still, that's good to know.
Yeah, thank you, Rachel. That's still great to know. Absolutely. Who else had their hand up, folks? I'm so
Commissioner
sorry.
Morak.
All right, Commissioner Betts.
So it's Morak.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's all right. I have two things. One, in response to what you all were just talking about, I've discovered, because I have to go in and do some in-person business, the Secretary of State sometimes has cancellations. And so at 8 a.m. and 12 noon every day, if you go on it, it's a crapshoot. But sometimes you can get a next day appointment. But so at 8 a.m. and noon, they'll release whatever appointments they have available the next day. And then it just, whoever happens to get those first will get them. So that might help that person get it sooner. The other issue I wanted to address is the DDA came and did a presentation with us a couple of years ago, and we were very involved with them. There is a PDF that is available that shows where all of the disability parking is. It doesn't tell you if it's available or not. It can't tell you, oh, there's already a car parked there, but it is a map that will show you where disability parking is currently located, which I find helpful. So
do you mind sending that to me?
Yes, I can look that up and send that to you. Can I get it to you tomorrow and not today?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think just both of those resources, folks. I mean, that website, Elizabeth, and then of course that map, I think, would be very helpful for this individual. And then I can at least send them right away, those particular things to say, hey, maybe both of these can help you going forward. And then, if they come back to me and say, yeah, these don't help at all, then I'll try to, address their situation further. But, parking and construction, I mean, that's always a thing, right? I think even for just people getting around the city. And so I can understand their frustration. Absolutely. But hopefully, that map and the other link can help. And thank you. I appreciate that. All right.
Commissioner Gossage.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Alex.
No problem. I'll be real quick too. At first, I was kind of confused. I wasn't sure if we were talking about placards or actual parking space posts. If folks are trying to get actual parking space posts, accessible posts put in front of their residents, we have actually helped a couple people with that in the past in Ann Arbor. If it's more talking about the placards, which is what I think we are talking about in the DMV, I think everybody's already given some great advice, but you can also always reach out to your state representatives and ask them for assistance. And I know that they would say the same thing if you were to say that, or if they were to hear this question. So that would be the other option.
Yeah, I mean, Alex, as you saw, this particular inquiry, you guys, is more about parking just in the city and where some additional parking would be, just because it's been difficult for them to actually find accessible parking so far in the city right now, with different construction going on in different areas. So again, I think that map will help. And then of course, the placards, I mean, in the future, that's always helpful because they do expire. So yeah, I do appreciate all of those resources. And Alex, I had no idea of that. I didn't know that you could actually get accessible parking near your residence or around there. So that's good to know.
I sent the link too. I think it's what you're talking about, Alex. It's like a form that you fill out, something like that.
Wonderful. Well, thank you guys. Is there anything else on this? Or can we move forward? All right. Is there any new business at this time or announcements that anyone has? Okay. Nothing at this time. All right. Well, with that, folks, we are set to adjourn. I want to thank everyone for joining this meeting today, and I appreciate all the efforts that you guys are putting in with the commission. I think we're definitely, making some good progress. Again, Alex, I want to commend you with that pop-up, vaccination that you guys are coordinating there. I think that's a tremendous opportunity. So I encourage everyone, just, whatever their opinion is, make the best decision for you and know that that is available. And if you do want to take advantage of that, please contact the Ann Arbor Center for Independent Living to take advantage of that opportunity. With that, we are adjourned. I want to wish the entire commission and everyone on here to stay safe and stay healthy. I thank you all for your time. I know that this is all very tough, but you know what? We're working at this together. So thank you to all.